See, I want to answer that question, but I'm so stuck on the fact of how somebody, literally anybody, would get in the position as CEO of Earth.
Don't worry
I
about it.
can't get over that. I'm sorry.
It's Intersectional, episode 6. I'm your host, Fahim Kamal.
I'm your other host, Brandon Winchell.
I'm your other host, Lily Remington.
And I'm your final host, Karina Provost.
Yeah, so this year was a crazy year for a lot of reasons, but one of them was the fact that this year was the first time since the 2010s, I think, that the US launched spaceships from American soil with American tech and using Americans. That, coupled with the fact that, Trump developed a space force, kind of seems to indicate that the US is going towards a trajectory with increased space development, right? So when we're thinking of this episode, with that in mind, we're kind of thinking about the question is like, if we were given the choice, would we go to another planet? All right, Brandon, listen to me. I'm Elon Musk, right? I'm giving you the opportunity to go to Mars. You taking it or not?
Like, by myself?
Okay,
Like
that's a different question.
Let's make it a little easier. So, like, let's say there's like a developed colony on Mars. It can sustain life. Would you go?
I mean,
but it's a one-time trip. You can't go back.
It depends. Can I like bring people with me on the spaceship?
Oh, so
yeah, you can bring your homies. It's not a vacation. You're moving to Mars. You're becoming a colonist.
Bro, I think it would be something I would strongly consider is what I'll say. Like it depends a lot on the specificities of like what like the colony, like how the colony's doing and everything. And I know like that's just gonna be too theoretical if we just keep asking these what if questions. But I would say like I would strongly consider it because I think that would be like really cool.
All right, for the viewers, we live in Las Vegas, right? So let's say that the colony on Mars was the same like type of infrastructure that we have in Las Vegas, right? Except, it's sustainable for Mars, right? So given that, is it a definitive or a no, and why?
You asking me? It's kind of hard to say. Like, honestly, I feel like it's something that would be like, it would be kind of lonely because it depends on like how many people are already there, and like I wouldn't be connected to like the world anymore. But it just seems like something that's like such like a great opportunity, and like I might be on the history books for like the Mars history of the Mars. I mean, that didn't make really any sense, but like I might be in the history books
the
of Mars.
Colony of Mars.
Yes, I might be
history.
I was gonna say Christopher Columbus, but he wasn't a very good guy.
Bruh.
No way, homie. You're not the first one going to Mars.
No,
you ain't
I'm
gonna
not
be
saying
in no history book.
Christopher Columbus was not the first one going to America either,
but
though.
everyone thinks he is.
No, I'm just saying like I'm not saying like
I would.
Yeah.
We all learned in AP World that it was the Vikings.
But I wasn't trying to make like a comparison to Christopher Columbus. I'm making a comparison to like a historical figure. Like, what if I do something that's like completely like mind blowing to like the people of Mars, and it's just such like an industrial like innovation that it's just like in the history books. Like,
so you want to go to?
Brandon wants to get written down in history for bringing popcorn to Mars.
Yeah, something like that.
I like how you say the people of Mars as if they aren't just the people of Earth relocated.
No, did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh well, I didn't mean that. Just like Earth people,
segregation.
Like. No, I'm not segregating them.
The first child born on Mars will be a Martian. They will be half human. They will be biologically human, but ethnically Martian.
I got a question though.
Ethnically or just like nationally?
Nationally. Is Mars? Well, Mars is a planet.
Nationally.
Is the colony like a designated nation?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's definitely not ethnically.
Wait, what's the definition? What's the difference between national and ethnic?
National's like country. Like I'm nationally American, but ethnically German.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of people like are like I'm not ethnically American, but like
no one unless you're like Native American. Unless you're Native American, you're not ethnically American.
That's true.
I guess.
Like Fahim is like ethnically South Asian, but American nationality.
Yes, sir.
I guess.
Yes,
But
It's
he
just
will
like,
he'll never be American ethnic, and
but
neither will I or you
Right,
but
because
or
I'm
Karina.
nationally American, but I'm ethnically both Russian and German.
Yeah.
I guess. This is getting completely off topic. Yes, I would probably go to Mars.
because you want to be popcorn famous, as
Well,
Karina said.
I didn't necessarily say popcorn, but like that would
But
be.
I did.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make that decision. It's like you're leaving everybody. You grew
Yeah.
up in such a place. Like you
Okay,
you grew up on another planet.
But hold on, let's take it like this. You take the whole city of Las Vegas, the whole
That's
population.
not what I said though.
No, this is a theoretical question. You take everyone that you know and you move them to Mars.
No, because
No.
think about it. Mars, if the way I'm conceptualizing this colony is that it's just Las Vegas, right? I don't want to live in just Las Vegas on Mars. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many places on Earth that I want to like visit and travel, and like going to
Yeah.
Mars for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be looking at rocks for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I agree. I would not go to live on Mars. Like, say the technology developed and got to a point where the price isn't like millions of dollars. Maybe I would go and like look at what like it's like on another planet, like visit Mars, or I don't know, just go to like another planet, but I could not move there and never come back. There's too much that I have here on Earth. And like even though I sometimes say like life on Earth sucks or whatever, like I couldn't let go of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I might retract my statement, but like, is there not cool stuff on Mars too? Is it just rocks? Like, I haven't honestly.
It's basically just rocks. I mean, there's no waterfalls, there's mountains, but it's like not
The
Earth
terrain is
mountains.
like very similar. Like, it's not, as far as I know, it's not like vastly different terrain.
Yeah,
As you
no.
would see on
There's no
Earth.
like rainforest.
Like, if you could relate, there's only one biome on Mars, and there's like not that.
There's only one biome in our daily lives. We live in Vegas.
No, but
But we
it's
have the
potential.
opportunity. Exactly. We have the opportunity to leave and go somewhere else, like, cause like after being here for so long, I'm like, oh my god, I just want to get out of the desert. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. But like, if I was on Mars and I got sick of staring at the red rocks, like, what else do I have to look at? Red rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like in like thinking about it, it would just be like hard to like get stuff other than rocks. Like, I don't know like if they've like discovered anything under like the. I'm just thinking about like resources. Like in Minecraft, you need wood and like rock. You can't just have rock. Then you can't make like anything. You know what I'm talking about? Like
That's why the invention of popcorn on Mars will be so important.
exactly.
That's why you go
I-
down in the
I
books.
can't. I can't feasibly imagine our like technology on Earth being like feasibly sustainable on Mars.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
Like-
we've destroyed
Like, it would
almost
be
dis-
drastically different.
Yeah, like we basically are destroying our planet now. If everyone just moves to Mars, we'll just continue to destroy it. And it'll be even worse because there ain't nothing on Mars.
I have like an ethical question. So in like this isn't completely related to like going there like as a person, but let's say like since overpopulation is a like inevitability in the future of Earth.
It's also an
Like-
issue with now.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It's an issue now. So, let's say we discover Mars is survivable and we could send people up there. Like, can you, like, force people to go up there? Like, if it's gonna lead to the end of the Earth if we don't? Or, like, do you have to just, like, would you guys only, like, if you were in power, make people that volunteer go? Like, how is that gonna work? Because if the planet, like, if Earth is not gonna sustain for, like, 10 more, like, you only have 10 years left on Earth, but you could send people to Mars, like, what would you do in that situation to, like, try to save humanity?
If I was like the CEO of Earth, I'd send people.
Just, like, random people, or, like, like, you'd only let...
No, I'd make it random so it wasn't like, you know, like the rich
Unfair.
get to like, yeah, stay or whatever, right? I'd make it random, but like at the end of the day, when I think of that, it's just like I could prevent needless suffering and death on Earth, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take that opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this whole scenario, it kind of reminds me of like a show I was watching called The 100. I don't know if you guys have watched it.
No.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's
I think I've
kind
seen
of like
the
a
first episode.
yeah, it's like not exactly the same thing, but it follows like a similar trajectory, and it's just like this whole conversation just like leads me back to like the thoughts like that a lot of the characters on the show have to make. I think it's an interesting show. You guys should check it out if you're listening to this.
What do you all think about Brandon's question?
I mean, if I had to, I would make it random but at the same time, like, that's kind of messed up. Like, imagine you just gave birth to your child, right? And then the US or the world government is like, sorry, you have to say goodbye to your child and send it to Mars. Like, that's
No,
kind
I
of messed up.
feel like it'd be more of like a random draft scenario.
Yeah,
Like
but
you
even
wouldn't
still.
choose babies, like you would choose
Oh,
choose
fair.
adults 18 or older.
Mhm.
Like, and then they could bring, like, I think it'd be optional that they could bring their whole family, which just helps in other ways. See,
Mhm.
I want to answer that question, but I'm so stuck on the fact of how somebody, literally anybody, would get in the position as CEO of Earth.
Don't worry about
I
it.
can't get over that. I'm sorry.
I'm kind of stuck on, is overpopulation really like an issue right now? Because I mean, if you think about it, the rest of Nevada besides Las Vegas is empty. So people just need to like spread out.
That's
Okay,
Mars.
well, I mean, I'm not necessarily thinking about like overpopulation in like Nevada. I'm thinking about like globally.
Global
'Cause If you
South.
think about
Yeah.
like if you think about Japan, for example,
Well, yeah,
Japan's population is huge and it's smaller than the size of California.
yeah.
Or China. They literally have restrictive laws where you can only have X amount of children, like to prevent that kind of overpopulation, overcrowding from getting worse.
Mhm.
Well, like I mean, they got rid of the one-child policy, I thought, but like also,
Right.
It's
We
not
did
like-
have it at some point.
yeah, but it's like, I mean, if people spread out,
That
I
just
don't think that
delays
we'd be.
Like that's like a
We-
really privileged like viewpoint though, because like not everyone has
Well,
the ability to like spread
I'm
out.
aware.
Right?
I'm not. I'm just saying, like,
in a theoretical sense.
in a theoretical sense, like we don't. I mean, we don't know how to do it now, so that's why I guess I'm just trying to avoid answering the question because it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's a big like ethical dilemma, and I'm just like
Yeah.
like it's gonna happen at one point, and I don't know if Mars travel or going to any other planet would be sustainable at that time, but I'm just like wondering like what would happen because I don't know if it'll happen in our lifetimes. I don't.
No way.
I don't.
think so.
I don't study a lot of not necessarily like space travel, but I'm like just wondering about like if overpopulation would ever get to the point during our lifetimes where it's like threatening life, like human life on Earth. But I'm just like thinking about like in the future beyond our lives, like what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you'd also have to pick people who could survive like the trip there, because astronauts
Mhm.
have like very specific training, like to be astronauts, to travel into space. You would legitimately have to pick people and then train them to go.
Yeah, because the conditions like in those spaceship, like if you don't like work out or like do stuff, you're gonna like die. And then like if there are people who are like deviant and like don't do like what's like required of them, then I think it would just be a mass tragedy.
What's the gravity like on?
It's
I
less.
don't know.
Last.
Mars is smaller than Earth, or is it like it's just less dense?
I don't know. It's less.
Let me
Wow,
look this up.
it's 3.711
711.
meters per second.
Oh, so you could just I'm gonna have like a 12-foot vertical. I'm just kidding. I don't have like a 4-foot vertical on Earth. That's crazy. But like that would be cool. I mean, I don't know if that would be a cool living situation, but for the first day you're gonna go wild with that low gravity.
I mean, I watched this video though once that was like about long-term like effects of
Mm-hmm.
different gravity on, because like if you think about it, the human body adapted for like the gravity situations on Earth with like 9.8 meters per second squared.
Yeah.
So like if you then suddenly had to live for like in a scenario where it's only like 3.7, I mean your body might struggle.
You might, yeah. I mean, over like adaptation over time, humans would probably get taller. I would think, because it's like less pressure on there. Like, I don't know if that's how that works. I'm not an evolutionary person, but I'm just thinking like people would just get stretched out, like their bones would just be like, "Arr," and then they'd be like 8 feet tall, like on the regular. I don't know. It's just a weird thought to me. Like, this isn't even anything ethical right now that we're talking about. It's just like interesting in my head, at least.
This is interesting. So I just started like reading about like gravity on Mars. Somebody asked like what would it be like walking on Mars? And obviously walking on Mars would be really different because you have like the weight of spacesuits and like additional perimeter rate weighting and stuff. Um, but mobility is a separate issue to also like dexterity because this person was just kind of talking about how like how the sense of touch will be compromised and there's going to be a lack of sense, and then all of like our senses, like all of the things that we use in our day-to-day life, are going to be limited and muffled or warped in some way, so life would really be different on Mars.
Yeah, and like if you think about it, gravity kind of plays a factor in like say like the semicircular canals in our ears. So like if that fluid was just sloshing in your head because there wasn't gravity to pull it down, you'd be dizzy and nauseous like all the time.
Yeah. Like adaptation we'd have to wait generations for like humans to be normal in that like situation.
Oh my.
Like generations and generations.
So apparently a Mars year lasts 687 days.
So basically kind of like two Earth years almost.
Yeah. So
Christmas.
What would you
That's my first thought. Christmas is long, like you have to wait longer.
Or you could just do that like, general Earth, like just like Christmas in July.
Yo, wait, that's crazy. How would religion be affected when you move? That's
religious calendars.
Oh right, because like lunar things that are based on like lunar solar calendars and stuff.
Mars doesn't have a moon, does it?
Not that
I don't think it does.
Let me look.
Sorry, this is off topic. I was just thinking about the lunar calendar, and they don't have a moon, so how are they gonna be lunar? I'm just like, I think there would. I don't know.
Mars has
3 moons. That's my other guess.
2.
Which one do you choose for the calendar?
What are the names of them?
Yeah,
choose by the
Phobos and Demos.
Are you on the Deimos calendar? No, I'm on the Sobos calendar.
Phobos.
I just be following the sun.
The sun won't change, but actually it would because you're going around the sun like longer. But like that's just like a weird to think about. Like you said, like religion, but like by that time, I don't know if like other religions we know on Earth as of like this moment in time would be like completely like gone, and there would be like new thought. Like this is just like me thinking into like the future, like what would happen with like cultural beliefs and stuff like that. It's just weird to think about, and I know you guys don't have answers because I don't know unless you're a time traveler. Any of you?
I might be.
Yeah. Okay. Slight topic change. So I started reading another article while we were talking about oxygen on Mars. And it looks like all of Mars' atmosphere is incredibly varied. So oxygen only makes up about like 0.13% of the Martian atmosphere, but it fluctuates in the spring. Like it gets higher. Like Mars's seasons are obviously much longer and different than ours, but the level of oxygen gets higher in the spring, and they keep finding like surprise traces of methane that keep appearing and reappearing, or disappearing and reappearing. Words. But and then carbon dioxide is the main ingredient of their air. But at the poles in winter, it falls out of the air and freezes, and then turns back into carbon dioxide in the spring. Like the Mars atmosphere is whack.
That's really weird.
Well, yeah, they have to find a way to get oxygen there to like sustain their colony. That's weird.
And I also read this thing or watched this video like a few years back, so I don't know how good my memory of it is, but it was saying like the dust particles on Mars are like so fine or something that like if you just walked outside without anything, it would get in your lungs and like cause breathing problems.
That's
Yeah,
scary.
according to this, I apologize, this is mildly graphic. Um, yeah, a planetary science, who's based at NASA's, like, Ames Research Center, said it's like popping a can of Coke. You would literally fizz to death within seconds.
That's not good.
Oh,
People complain about wearing masks now. Mars, welcome everywhere. Everywhere you gotta wear a mask every day.
bro, facts.
All the
Yeah.
anti-maskers are dead after day one.
So, like, here's the difference. Earth's atmosphere is 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and with trace amounts of water, vapor, carbon dioxide, and other gases. But by comparison, Mars's atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide.
Yeah, we would die.
hmm You would die of hypoxia within minutes.
This is why, like, I don't think Mars travel is gonna be sustainable soon or ever.
Exactly. Because,
So,
I mean,
like-
if think about it, if you try to take the oxygen from Earth to take it to Mars, then isn't all the oxygen on Earth gonna go away?
Mm.
You'd probably have to convert some stuff, like, on the
According
Mars
to
atmosphere.
this as well, it's more than just that. The dust on Mars is toxic because it's finely
Yeah.
grained and abrasive.
Yeah.
So, if you were ever exposed to Martian dust, it would mean really bad things for the human lungs. Not to mention, there's no global magnetic field on Mars, which means the radiation would kill you within a couple months, assuming that you didn't die from lack of oxygen or the dust or the freezing temperatures. Because on a summer day, it can reach as high as 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is fine, 21 degrees Celsius for anyone who uses the metric system. Is that no? That's just Celsius. I'm really tired. But whatchamacallit, if you were not properly warmed on a day on Mars, you would that's something you could die from within hours. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like falling on Earth, not that bad, right? But like making a mistake on Mars, that's deadly. Like,
Exactly.
We didn't evolve for Mars, but like in the theoretical situations we were talking about before, if I would go, like I wasn't considering all this. So just to clear my name, I'm not crazy and I don't want to die. But
no, but like assuming that all those conditions were met and it's safe.
yeah, then possibly. But Mars, I don't know if that's my vibe anymore. I'm just thinking about all the red rocks, and I'm like, we got a red rock here, so like
Exactly.
so I'm like,
I mean,
maybe can
You got a
find
red
it.
rock that you don't even visit.
Yeah.
We're
know.
we're thinking about Mars, right? But like, let's think about the moon. If we were able to go to the moon, would you go? Like, that's a lot closer. I feel like that's a journey that I'd make.
But it's still okay. I would rather look at red rocks than gray rocks.
No, that's cool though. The moon. I feel like I don't know.
Moon
I just you can see the Earth from
Wait,
the
couldn't
moon.
you see? Oh, I was gonna say, couldn't you see the Earth from Mars? But then that's like saying we could see Mars from Earth, and we can't really. So no, you're right.
I feel like a lunar journey wouldn't be as like
As
risky,
dangerous.
right? So like I feel like it's like more likely that we could go back if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, freaking like Neil Armstrong and stuff went back.
The only thing about the moon is there's not as much area. So like, if we were in my theoretical situation where overpopulation was gonna kill us, we couldn't send that many people. And then also, I don't know if the moon is sustainable as compared to Mars, but I don't know the logistics of that. So we'd probably have to look that up. But this is really dumb. But if the moon is like going around the Earth, right? How is does the spaceship like? Because I would think a spaceship just like goes directly at it. But wouldn't the moon be moved? Like, wouldn't it have moved by then? Or am I dumb?
They
But
account for
okay,
that.
well,
probably
yeah.
calculate.
We know how the moon moves and where it is because we've been able to study it as a satellite of our planet. So I'm sure they adjust the trajectory for where the moon is going to be. However, fun fact, the moon is also not habitable.
Yeah,
Facts?
I could see that.
Well, like self-sustainably, right?
Does it have an atmosphere? like that would be like that has enough oxygen for us to like survive?
The moon has no atmosphere, no weather, and no water. Its surface is in a perpetual vacuum.
Hmm. So
Space.
so we're doomed when overpopulation comes. Is what's happening.
See, this is the thing. When overpopulation comes, I don't think like any leader is gonna try to like send people out of the earth. I feel like authoritarianism is gonna be on the rise, and
You
people are
think
just gonna
there's gonna
start
be
dying.
You think it's gonna be like genocides and like
Yes,
massacres?
genocide on genocide.
Yeah, I don't want to be alive for that.
I mean, but I really kind of don't think that overpopulation. I feel like at some point the population of the Earth is going to level out. Because if you think about it, like we watched a video about it in Human Geography. I don't know if you guys remember, but like in super developed countries, women don't have as many children because they realize I don't need to have 5 children because 4 of them are gonna die and only one is gonna live. It's like there are so many women now who don't even have any children at all. So I feel like when things get better in a country and the mortality rate isn't as high, but they're still having 5 or so kids, that's when the population grows. But once they realize, oh, my 5 kids aren't dying, then those kids probably like just naturally don't have as many children or whatever. And then the population will level out, and I don't think overpopulation will really be an issue. I mean, in
I guess that's like
countries it will be, but like if people can spread out.
That might be like a thing. Like that might be true for like developed countries, but like I'm not so sure that it'll level out for undeveloped countries, considering they don't have like basic what's the word I'm looking for?
Like
Contraceptives.
resources?
Contraceptives.
Well, I'm saying when they do, like eventually the world's population will level out.
I'm just
I just don't know if like
believe.
I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if developing countries are gonna become developed like over time.
If it's just like I'm thinking about like Los Angeles and New York City. Like those are in the U.S., which is one of the most developed countries, and there's massive overcrowding there, and I think like obviously like there's more room in the U.S., but like no one wants to live in like North Dakota. Like, I just don't think that would be, like, something that would, like, happen. Like, I don't think development's gonna happen there to the point where people would, like, move there in mass.
Well,
if push comes to shove, I think people are gonna develop new areas, right?
Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But there's just some, like, areas that aren't desirable, one, and some that even aren't, like, habitable, like, in Russia, like, Siberia, and, like, in like the more Arctic parts of Canada. Like I think at one
not
point,
habitable now, but who's to say that technology doesn't develop to make them more habitable?
Well, yeah, but
comes.
And then there's global warming, so then eventually it's like probably gonna level out.
If you think that our planet is hot, apparently on the moon it has a daytime average of 253 degrees and a nighttime average of negative 387.
Yeah, I don't think we can live on the moon.
Bipolar. This turned into a conversation about whether I would go to Mars into one about the future of the human race. And
also why this conversation is literally not possible.
And now it's becoming overly pessimistic. Not overly pessimistic. I'm not saying that like your explanations aren't making sense. I'm just saying it's pessimistic in that I don't know if there is a great possibility that without major changes in like the coming years that the human race will be sustainable.
In that sense, I think it's actually quite realistic. Sorry to crush your dreams about Mars, Brand.
I know.
But
I'm not saying like. Actually, I might have misused the word. I'm not saying it's like pessimistic, as in like it's like an overly like negative view. I'm just saying it's like a sad reality, like like what you're like realistic. I guess is a better word than pessimistic.
I saw this image on the internet of like a highway to like the moon. How cool would that be if we just straight had a highway from Earth to the moon?
That would take
like
a while.
don't even think about realism right now. Like don't think it's realistic, right?
I can't hell?
Just think
with
about it. Imagine
That would be cool.
just like driving to the moon. Wouldn't that be dope?
That reminds me of that. Sorry, that reminds me of that one like thing that's like if you fold a piece of paper like 48 times, you get to the moon, or like 47, you get
What?
to the moon, and then you fold it again, you would get back. Like that's how like exponential growth works.
Oh,
I just think
right.
that's so like crazy to think about.
Wait. You just blew my mind there. You gotta explain that.
So like if you fold, you know how like you fold a piece of paper, like let's say like it's not an inch thick. Like obviously it's like a lot like less than that, but I'll use an inch for like explanation.
Math.
So you fold it once, then it's gonna be 2 inches thick. If you fold it twice,
Right.
it would be 4 inches thick, and then like you keep going. It's like exponential growth. You're multiplying like 2 times 2 to the x.
Right.
And then if you keep going, I heard with the like thickness of a piece of paper, if you fold a piece of paper 47 times, theoretically, it would be the distance from Earth to the moon. And then if you fold it again, obviously you get back. Like I just think that's crazy.
crazy.
To think about.
That's crazy. Alright, I gotta go practice folding papers now.
But you can't even fold a piece of paper past like 7 or something. That's like a weird like thing I hear.
Yeah.
It just gets too hard. Even like I saw someone do it with like a huge piece of paper, and I was like, that's kind of cheating though. It was like this massive like football sized piece of paper. Sorry, this is getting vastly off topic, but I just thought that was interesting when you mentioned
I think this is more space theory than just would you go to Mars, I feel like,
Oh no, definitely.
at this point.
I apologize. I think I might have took the conversation in that direction.
Ain't no worries.
It's still an interesting conversation, no doubt. I enjoy talking about stuff like this, even though like it's obviously something that like I probably wouldn't talk about on a daily basis or would have to worry about like in my profession. But I just think it's like future profession. I don't work right now. But yeah, I just think it's interesting. Like regardless if we're talking about like realistic possibilities or like talking about in this theoretical situation that probably wouldn't happen, would we do this? I don't know.
Do you think like if there was a colony on Mars, like all jobs would be abbreviated with like Mars, you're a Mars engineer, you're a Mars janitor.
I don't know. Like they don't do that with Earth. But
I
then
mean,
again-
yeah, because we don't go anywhere else. What do you mean?
Well, okay, if people colonized Mars and lived on Mars and were, by, living on Mars, Martian, then they wouldn't need to, because if their life is on Mars, then it is just, for them, it's not life on Mars, it's just life.
Well, in terms of like
just,
communication between Earth and Mars.
Why would a Mars janitor be talking to anybody?
I don't know. What if he was lonely?
He's like, I've been
He's
cleaning
like, girl,
Mars
go come to
bathrooms."
Mars real quick. My
Wait,
parents
wait,
are at
can
home.
Can you imagine intergalactic cell phone companies? Like their advertisements nowadays are just like, you can talk to anybody on Earth, and then new cell phone company, you can talk to anybody in the galaxy.
When Samsung Galaxy really goes
Bruh.
full Galaxy.
That's a
The
good
iPhone
whole new
Milky Way.
meaning.
That's crazy. Oh my god. Sorry, I had to drink water. I don't know where else to go with this conversation, really. I don't know if there's much else to talk about. I just thought it was interesting when you mentioned the highway, and then Lily was talking about getting oxygen from Earth to Mars. I was thinking like this huge long tube connecting like, the
Keep it in your
atmospheres.
car.
Oh, I know what we could talk about. Like, if we were able to set up a colony and like had that kind of space infrastructure, do you think for sure at that point we would be like mining asteroids, like taking resources, capitalism, the whole lot?
That's a
Yeah.
Roblox game, quite literally entitled Galaxy.
Really?
Yes.
That also happened on my show. Like, there's these, like, because there was, like, they thought they were the last surviving people, and then there was this other company called, like, Allegis, and they were talking about mining asteroids, and I've, like, thought about that before, and I was like, mining asteroids, like, you're getting, like, what do you get from mining an asteroid? Like, I never thought about it
Resources.
deep enough. Like,
Yeah.
resources as in, like, diamonds? Or,
Iron,
like, what?
like I don't know, natural resources, whatever exists on asteroids.
That's crazy.
But like the thing is like I kind of poses the question: do you think like that would create like greater like inequalities between people, or like maybe it would make it so it's more equal because like space is humongous? You know what I mean? Like there's like a
I think
endless amount of resources.
I think it would create like this
More
vast
disparities.
inequality. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like the people that don't have like that, like, because obviously, like, I don't know if you're like talking about like one group as opposed to another group, or you're talking about like the people like on like inside a certain group. Like, what is your like question? Like, can you specify really quick, and then I could answer.
I guess like just like people, like the different classes.
So like, you take a bunch of like are they on like separate ships or the same ship?
Well,
Like,
they're like I don't know why that matters.
no, because I'm just thinking like if you're talking about like people on like one ship as opposed to like people on another ship, like you're basically.
Oh
like,
no, but one like central ship.
I think it would create inequality either way. I didn't really need a specification, but I was just like wanted to like talk about like the specifics. I think just like that like wealth, like, and I don't think everyone's gonna be doing the jobs that involve getting those resources. So I think just like the people that aren't are gonna be like a lot worse off in that like the leaders are gonna be greedy. Like I think that's just human nature.
I don't
And
know,
it's, like,
because it's
pessimistic
like
view.
it kind of like I kind of think it's like would socialism have like more like weight
a
to it at
precedent.
that point, because like if resources are that easy to get, right, like
Mhm.
distributing them wouldn't be as much of an issue.
That's interesting.
Okay, editing Brendan here for a second. So I just wanted to clarify the rest of this episode. We kind of don't really talk about the topic much. We kind of just went to a different topic. We were kind of talking more conversationally, like how we would normally when we aren't recording a podcast. And I just wanted to add this to like let you guys know, if you were here solely for the topic, even though we went from subject to subject like earlier on and we didn't really stay focused, then feel free to like listen to something else. But yeah, we just wanted to keep this in because we thought it was sort of entertaining. Anyway, thank you for listening this far, and I hope you're enjoying.
This is completely off topic, and feel free to cut this out. But next time we record an episode, I am definitely going to make a tick mark. Everybody in this call says the word like,
I
because
don't.
it is, out of you two particularly, it is every other word.
Out of you two, as in
Who's
me and
you
Fahim?
two?
Yes.
Excuse me, I swear I don't say it.
No, Fahim,
Okay,
I say it. I
Fahim-
know I say it a lot.
I
you
text
said
it.
8 times in your last sentence.
Sometimes it's like you need to use like I'm
You
like.
just said it like 3 times.
No, I'm saying sometimes you need to use like as in what is like your thing. Like
What
do you
is?
like
What is what?
Don't make fun of me. You don't need to we don't need to turn this into a bashing session. But I'm just saying
I mean-
sometimes it's
I mean-
necessary in the sentence. I'm like
Sometimes it's necessary. But, like, if you think about, like, when
You
you're
said it.
using the word like and you're paying attention to how often you say like you're noticing how often like is actually used, and, like, do you see what I'm getting at?
I'm just never gonna say it again. It's just not in my vocabulary anymore.
No,
It's
my
gone.
dad, when I was a kid, he would be like, oh my gosh, sorry, I just said it. He would say at the dinner table, if I didn't say it, like, oh my gosh, every time I said it, I would have to give him a quarter. And so
Damn.
I
never
tried
had
to
that
stop saying it, but I never got out of the habit. I think it's just a filler word, like a
It
filler
is-
word in
your dad-
It
English.
is definitely a
Because when
filler
you
word.
think, like, you're thinking so fast to say these words, but sometimes you just need like that split second of saying
good-
the word
it's a-
like to get your thoughts together.
It's a good connector though.
I believe that I just think too fast to the point where like my thinking
I
I
just
know
think
I
too
just keep okay, no, I don't want to hear it right now. I'm trying to explain my reason why I say the word like so much. I think so far ahead of like what I want to say that when I'm talking about something it would make no sense if I like skip forward to what I was thinking about at the time I was like speaking. So then I have to like backtrack and I say like to think about what I said at the like what I was saying instead of what I was thinking about. and it's like this whole like process of me trying to like what's the word? Materialize everything that I'm thinking about into like a coherent thought. And
Which makes sense. That does make sense. I will give you that. And there are some situations where you can't avoid using
Mhm.
the word like when you're explaining something and you just have to say like this, or it is I mean, you're not going to go out of your way to say it is comparable to this.
For example.
But the thing that you just explained, debate really helped me personally with that, because I am in my opinion like a very quick thinker. Like I think very, very fast. So
Mhm.
trying to keep all of my words up with what I'm trying to say doesn't always work out, which is how I end up, stumbling over words every now and again, or why I'll use the wrong word every now and again. It's just a thing that we do as humans.
Mhm.
Or as I just did, I'll repeat a word maybe once or twice so that what I'm trying to say can catch up with what I'm actually speaking into existence. This was a very off-topic tangent, but I just wanted to point it out.
No.
Do you wanna
it's
outro
definitely an
them?
interesting thing. Welcome to the Intersectional Podcast, where we switch the topic every 3 minutes.
Not wrong.
No, it's an interesting thing, and I notice I do it, and I don't know how to like exactly. I just did it. I don't know how to stop myself
Fix it.
from doing. I am talking so robotic because I'm trying
But-
my best not to
Just
say
be
it.
conscious of it, I guess. And
Yeah, because
Then I'll
when you're
stop.
conscious of it, it slows down. Like, the amount of times that you use it decreased dramatically from when I pointed it out to the sentence that you just was a little robotic towards the end there. But I just you stopped, because when you were talking to Fahim about the socialism and
Mhm.
colonization of Mars, you were saying it maybe every 3 to 4 words. I did start like
Yeah.
tally marking it,
Yeah.
and there's a sticky
Yeah.
note covered in
Yeah.
tally marks now. Not just for you, for Fahim as well, because Fahim did it 8 times in one sentence. But
I was just trying to get
Think
the
about it at
most.
the same time.
No, get the most likes. I was going for a world record.
Get the most likes on this.
yeah, no, Brandon still had you beat.
Dub Nation.
My bad. Hey, at this point, we might as well outro, no?
No, yeah, you're probably right.
We can, yeah.
I don't know who wants to outro. I've never outroed, so I don't really know how to do it.
Karina's
If I-
good at it.
If I get it right the first time, then it's fine. But I don't always get it right the first time.
No, it's
Just-
understandable.
Give it your best.
Okay. Alright, I got this. Don't worry. Just gotta open up the Google Sheet.
I don't know. You might have to like. Oh, I messed that up again. You might have to acknowledge the end of the conversation, because
I don't-
it'd be a little
Right.
abrupt.
Right.
I don't know how much of this I want to keep in, or how much we want to keep in, rather.
Yeah, what are we?
I think it was.
I thought we were gonna get rid of all this,
I think I thought it was an
nonsense.
interesting conversation. Like,
but
obviously,
it
we
doesn't
didn't.
fit.
It
Perhaps
doesn't.
you can save the file for another episode.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but I
maybe
don't
a
know when it's
segment.
gonna fit in another episode.
We'll find something.
We could do an episode on like what we find annoying about each other and just hate each other after that.
That's
Well, I-
every episode for you.
What do you?
We
what do
do
you-
we do that at least once an episode.
Yeah.
I swear. Like last time it was y'all bagging on me for my sleep schedule.
Oh, that was. I'm sorry.
No, but it's the whole episode.
The whole episode
that
we
would
just
be
hate on
funny.
each other. I could see that happening. We could just make a compilation of what we've made so
I mean,
far.
we can just go off now.
Okay.
So,
Okay, but I haven't slept in like 24 hours.
That's funny.
That's funny. Whew. I say a lot of things too much.
Anywho.
Anyways.
Yeah, that is exactly what we do. We have a conversation for 3 minutes, and then it's anyways. Next topic.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, this.
I mean, that is pretty
It's hard.
pretty similar to what our actual podcast episodes are like.
It's
so-
hard to keep like the same train of thought and
We are
not.
tangential people.
Yeah, we just be going on tangents like Miss. taught us. Not I don't think she goes on tangents. That's why I said taught
I
us.
thought you were going to make like a math joke there, but you didn't.
I think he was trying to, but I don't think it came out the way.
Yeah, he was
wanted
going
it.
to like some weird route.
Like, you made it sound like our math teacher went on a lot of tangents, which
No,
is not true.
that's
He
why-
just taught us about trig.
No, I said go. No, that's why I had to like readjust my thought after I said it, because she didn't go on tangents. She taught us about tangents. Did she teach us about tangents?
We reviewed.
Tangents.
Sorry, my voice went really high there.
Ooh.
Did you teach us about tangents? Alright, you could outro.
What am I outroing?
I don't know.
Socials, but like, well, that's it for, you know.
Yeah, I know, but like,
Wait, do you,
I feel like,
should we like say something? I could.
what
I could
what
always
are we
go back.
keeping
Yeah.
in this episode?
What if we just kept all of this? Just like didn't edit any
You
of it out?
can't. You can't.
All right, this is the most blooper-filled episode of the Intersectional Podcast, and for all of you listening at home, this is exactly what it sounds like on the unedited cuts. Apologies to Brandon, who edits all of the episodes. But thank you all so much for listening. This has been episode 6 of the Intersectional Podcast. Make sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at the Intersectional Podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. It's the same URL at gmail.com. Or you could check out our website for a list of episodes and other contact forums. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.